What's going on, Fast Turn Radio watchers, listeners, replay catchers? Gompers, my boy, what's up? Gompers shot me some messages today that were a little disturbing, talking about some of the, Gompers is in the chat room, talking about some things that might get you in trouble if you don't expect it. So, the boogeyman's out there. It's almost like we're all walking on eggshells since Sean got his account suspended. And like I mentioned before, John Grillo last year had his suspended. It can happen to anyone at any time. And, take those notices that you guys receive seriously. And if Amazon sends you a notification saying, hey, this doesn't match, or it wasn't listed in the right condition, or those kind of things, pay attention to that. Because, one time they're kind of a two-strike, you're out. The first time's a warning. The second time, they may just go ahead and tell you that's all she wrote until you can prove that you are worthy of selling. So anyway, not to scare people, but Gompers just sent me a message kind of along those lines, something we were talking about. But anyway, Gompers, what's happening, man? Got an exciting show tonight. We're going to talk about the ScanVan trip, which was awesome. Oh my God, it was better than I could have ever imagined. The weather was awful, but the company was amazing. The learning experience was amazing. The functionality of the van was unreal. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then get you caught up on the road to 500K. Things are looking very good. Ended the month last month at just over 30,000 in sales, and are looking to probably better that a little bit this month. So we'll get you caught up. And then our big segment is going to be with Dan Metters and Eric Lambert as they talk about a new wholesale course, the advanced wholesale course that they have coming up. And it is in depth like no other wholesale course I've seen. I've taught a little wholesale myself. I've been a part of other wholesale courses in the past, and those were very good. These guys are taking it to a whole nother level. I mean, and they call it the wholesale formula because it is. It's a formula that you can replicate, duplicate. You can do it over and over and over again and supercharge your sales. I'm going to run through some numbers from some actual sales that I have done with, or deals that I've done with them. And you'll see exactly the kind of stuff that if you follow their program, what you can expect to see in return. So that's what's all on schedule tonight. So let's get started right away with the ScanVan. All right. Just a quick yes. I want to know, or tell me no, because everybody should know. Is there anyone that does not know what I'm talking about with the ScanVan? So if you have no clue what I'm talking about with ScanVan, just say no. That way I'll know if I need to catch people up or not. Okay, Chuck says no. Jenny says no. Connie. Okay, so we got a few people that says no. August, no clue. August, you know. Okay, ScanVan, just real quick. There was a plan for Chris Green and I to get in a decked out van with a table, power outlets, the power inverter. I mean, the whole thing was set up, had the Dymo printer, my Surface Pro, and we said we're going to hit the road for a couple of days, do some sourcing, packing, shipping from the road, and do RA on the fly. And that way there was no need to stop at a hotel to unpack everything, to label it, pack it back up, and to send it off. And then as we talked, I was like, man, I know some things in my area, but I'm coming to your neck of the woods, and I think we need more people involved. And so we started talking, and the young guns were the perfect fit. So two of the young guns joined us, which was Matt Kelly and Todd Forster. So they took us around Pennsylvania. Essentially, we met in New York. So I flew up to Massachusetts, drove from Rhode Island, Massachusetts, I don't know, that little area, over to New York. We met up with Matt and Todd, sourced around New York and Pennsylvania, and then drove 5 hours back to Rhode Island. They rented a car and went back down to Pennsylvania. So it was pretty cool. Real quick, the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay, so there's four big guys. We're all like 6 foot or more, with pretty wide bodies. I'm probably the smallest one of the group, and even I'm over 200 pounds, which is not good. I need to lose some weight. But, so I'm 6'3", 200 pounds. Chris is like 6'5", Matt and Todd, they're big boys. So the four of us in a van, we took up some room. So it was not perfect for like buying and sourcing on the road as far as all of us fitting in the van. but the experience was amazing. So we all get in there. First, it was Chris and I on the way to New York. We did source along the way and stopped at Big Lots and picked up some bolos. Some people shot some stuff to us. I had a couple of things in mind anyway. And I did pack and ship those in the van as we drove from like Massachusetts to New York, and had those boxes ready to go once we hit the ground. And so everything worked perfectly with that. I used inventory placement for the first time, because the last thing you want are like 5 boxes set up in a van. It just doesn't work. So, you know, 1 box, inventory placement, everything went in that box. Got it all labeled and packed up, shipped off, no problem. Picked up Matt and Todd, and that's where things got a little difficult, not only because there are a couple of big guys taking up some room in the back seat, right? No, they are master sourcers, okay? So you hit a store with them, you don't come out with like, you know, 6 little shopping bags of stuff. You come out with 6 carts of stuff, with flatbeds of stuff. Just unreal. So now we got this van that's supposed to be set up for us to be able to pack and ship from, and suddenly there is more inventory and more money being spent than we could possibly keep up with. So we kind of learned that one of the keys to the ScanVan would be to just have 2 people working it instead of 4, and not everybody goes sourcing. If one guy sits in the van and packs and ships, the other guy goes in the store and does the sourcing, it would work out perfect. But we had a blast. Those guys taught me so much. It was amazing. I look at stores that I've sourced in the past, I look at totally different now. The kind of products that we sourced were different than anything I'd looked at. Some of the signs on, you know, tags and labels and stuff like that you can look for, that kind of keys you into what's a sale or what's on clearance and all that. They were just full of tips, and I told them I wouldn't share all their secrets, but suffice it to say they know what they're doing, and I was honored to be a part of it, and they taught me so much. It was incredible. Numbers from the trip, I don't have like total sales numbers. I don't even know what's hit the warehouse yet. I know I spent, just from my own, you know, 500 here, 1,000 there, whatever. Oops, hit the mic. Spent about $3,000 myself. I have no clue what they spent. So in 2 days, I spent about $3,000. Most of that, hang on, I guess. Got to mute. Somebody popped in. So I spent $3,000. I don't know how much they spent. All of that got shipped while we were on the road. And how many boxes? Man, I don't know. I guess I could, if you guys want to know, I can look real quick. I don't want to eat up too much time with this stuff, but it's a valid question. So let me pop into my account real quick. I even tried to like label my shipments as like travel and then the date so that I could keep up with that stuff. There got to be so many boxes and so much product. I had to give up. So let's see, what were the dates on that? Today's the 9th, and it was a week ago. So it would have been the 2nd. So it was what, like the 1st and 2nd. So let's see, how many boxes did I ship out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like nine boxes that I shipped out on my account. That's just me running through my shipments real quick. I might have missed one, might have added an extra in there. I don't know, but it looks like I shipped about 9 boxes. Lots of different SKUs. Some of that stuff is definitely selling already. Several $100s worth. I'll show you that as we look at the road to 500K, but several $100s worth of inventory. So just an amazing experience. I have not had time at all to sit down and actually crunch these numbers to see what sold. But I can tell you, just from what I learned from them, I turned around and hit a similar store to one that we sourced, and I spent another $1,500 at home after that trip at a place that I never would have gone to otherwise, and I had no idea what I was looking for. So I'm telling you, it wasn't even just the like right this minute kind of thing, it was perpetual and after the fact that I could go into stores and spend more money than I ever did before. No, nobody rejected us from buying. One store even asked, because when you show up with like 20 of something and you just cleared the shelf, they look at you a little funny, and it's like, yeah, I don't really have that many kids, yeah, I'm selling these. So I had one manager that said, that's cool, I have no problem with it. Not sure if the other managers would, so you may not want to announce to them that you're selling this stuff, but go ahead. As far as I'm concerned, I'm here to sell product and you're buying it, and it's a win-win for all of us. So that was the only discussion I had with anybody about what we were doing. At some other stores that I've sourced locally since then, I told people that I was reselling. I told them the product I was looking for, and they said, no, we don't have it, but if I see it, let me take your number. I'll give you a call. So I had somebody at another store yesterday when I bought a whole bunch of the same product. They looked at me like I was crazy, and they said, what's going on? I said, I'm selling this stuff. Now, this was not Target, who obviously has a policy now against resellers. It was not Kohl's, where they do not want you reselling. These are other stores. They were more than happy to sell it, and I didn't use my resale certificate. One store even told me, oh, if you're reselling this stuff, just bring in your resale certificate, and we'll get it to you tax exempt. So I'm not having a big pushback from stores with buying and reselling. So, yeah, that's right. TRU manager, actually, I forgot about that. Chris and Matt were in a Toys R Us while Todd and I were trying to get things working in the van. We had too much of a power draw, so we couldn't get the inverter turned on. Chris got us straightened out on that. But we were waiting on Matt and Chris. We were like, man, what's going on? Where are you guys at? Finally, they come out with this stack of papers. Chris is like, check this out. I was like, what is it? It was the entire clearance list from Toys R Us with all SKUs, numbers in stock at their stores. It did not have numbers for other stores, but you had this big pamphlet basically of Toys R Us clearance. So it had every SKU, every product, the markdowns. It had recent sales velocity. Okay, see, I didn't look at it that closely. Yeah, it was like they just came out with it. They're like, here, if that's what you're doing. And that's another thing. If you ever watch Chris in action, that dude is smooth. I saw him work deals. Obviously, he got the Toys R Us thing, but he also got the manager at Walmart to like just give you a total, hey, what do you guys want? And I'll give you a discount on it, because it was the first of the month. It was June 1st. He's like, I know you got your budget for clearance. Let me help you get rid of some of this stuff. And so we were talking about Lego. She's like, no, Lego will sell. It's like, well, what about this? What about that? So she was flexible on some things, but it was all in the talking. Me, I wouldn't have had the gumption to just walk up to the manager and start talking that stuff. But Chris was all over it. He's a smooth talking guy, enjoys what he does. It was just fun to watch him in action. Did not see any competition other than each other. We threw some elbows here and there. I mean, sometimes you see the right product, you got to be the first one to it. Just totally kidding. Of course, Matt and Todd were awesome. They shared so much product with me. They were like, yeah, look, I found this awesome product. Here, have it. Cool. I mean, some of that stuff, I didn't know what it was till like the end of the trip, and I'm packing it up and sending it in, and some of it sold yesterday. It was some like menopause pill or something. I didn't even know what it was. All I know is they gave it to me and they told me to buy it and to send it in. So it was, then I see this thing sell, and I was like, well, that must have been something they gave me, because I don't know what it is. Good Walmart brawls. No, we didn't go to too many Walmarts. Chris and I went to one early on. That was about it. Matt and Todd are not as big on Walmart, I don't think, at least this time of year. So we had plenty of other stores to hit, but it was incredible, guys. And we got to thank KIB, because it's actually her land yacht that we were using. The setup was amazing. Chris decked that thing out, built the tables, had the inverter, had surge protectors with the individual switches to turn it on and off. So good stuff. Eric and Dan, I see you guys sitting over there. I'm not going to hold you up too much longer. Let me just run through the road to 500K real quick, get everyone caught up, and should have you on in about 5 minutes, and the rest of the show is going to be yours. All right, so road to 500K. Let's see, share screen. All right. Hopefully you guys are looking at my screen now. You should see we are at 7,500 for 7-day, 14,500 for our 15-day, and 31,263 for our 30-day. So a little under the 32,000. But looking good. We're happy. Just got a disbursement on Friday, and it is already up to $3,000 again. So dispersed on Friday and getting a payout of what's that, about $750 a day at this pace. And you know the weekends are always slow, so I'm happy with that disbursement. Last one came out a little light. We were hoping for 10,000. It was 8,000. But hey, so that's the money side of things. Let's go look at the reports real quick. Almost showed you the selling coach. That would have been a bad idea. Let's see. So here's today. We're at 800 on the day. You see we came up just shy of a $2,000 day yesterday. A lot of that was due to the products that I sourced in the van. We did sell right at 100 units. Another big part of that is the wholesale items that I have with Dan and Eric that have been absolutely flying. People are asking about the kitchen products. Yeah, that's wholesale. Those are mostly wholesale. It's not 100%, but that's mostly wholesale. Right now, the fastest selling product I have is in kitchen. And it's a deal that I worked with Dan and Eric. The numbers on that, just so you know, through the last 20 days, which is about how long it's been in stock, we've sold 129 units. Now, these are, yeah, I see you there, Chris. I'll get to you, man. Okay, so to give you some idea, these products are returning. And I think my youngest just like, yeah, he just freaked out over something. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know if you guys heard that, but he just had a blood-curdling scream. Okay, so the wholesale product, we sold 129 units in 20 days. The profits on that are a little over $250 a unit. They're about $266 a unit. Okay, so that doesn't sound like a lot, right? It's only $2.60 per unit. Just to give you guys some idea, at 129 units, that's $343. $17 a day is what we're making on that product. Again, $17 a day, not that big a deal. Except if you look at the 31-day consistent payout on that, that's $531. That's on one product. That's profit of over $500 on one product. Now, if you can find 10 products like that, which you can, because Dan and Eric have dozens of products like that, suddenly you're looking at a nice $5,000 a month in pure profit, actual money in your pocket. Okay. So think about that when you're looking at wholesale numbers. When you start looking at high volume, lower margin stuff, and actually the margins aren't that low. It's 50% ROI. It's a little better than 50%. So each unit costs less than $5 and it's returning $2.66. That's solid. Okay. And that's something that will sell day after day after day. And then there's the blood curdling scream. It was my youngest could not find his baby kangaroo. He lost his Joey. That is a bad, bad day in our house. Hopefully we have found the Joey, the life of a 7-year-old. So those are hard, fast numbers. And today, the sales on that one product, okay, I'm going to stop the screen. Well, we'll keep the screen share up for just a second. We'll burn through the rest of this, but I'll give you the sales today. I think we've sold like 10 or 11 of that product today. Okay, so while 6 or so is the average, it is not strange at all to have a day where you sell a dozen or more. Yes, the most important thing in life, find the Joey. Yeah, and Steve, so that's what I say when people don't like $5 profit items. Find enough and it's worth it. Exactly. Find enough and selling fast. Now, I don't want a $5 product that I'm selling one a day. Probably that doesn't get me excited. But if I can sell 5 a day or 10 a day, I get really excited over those, because that turns into $1,000 or $500 at the end of the month that goes in my pocket and with very little work. Wholesale, that's what I said, wholesale, and I'll get into this more in a minute, but the work is on the computer side. It's in the research side. It's in finding that that manufacturer to work with and driving down the price. And then it becomes automatic, and it just becomes month after month, making sure you have enough stock, enough supply in stock. Okay, so let's get through this real quick. Today, month to date for June, we're at the 9th of the month. We're at almost 10,000 in sales, so we're doing a little better than $1,000 a day. Last month we finished at 30,000. I think we're going to do a little better than that this month, so pretty excited about that. Let's look at the year to date. Not quite halfway through the year, and we are at 121,000 in sales. Same date range last year, we were at 54,000. So we are way over twice what we were doing last year. That excites me. That's what I'm looking for, because we did 215,000 last year. I want to at least double that to be able to hit the 500K. And we are outpacing last year tremendously right now. No small part to Dan on Eric, no small part to Matt, Todd, to Gompers. Those guys have all really helped out quite a bit. I do most things myself. I do have someone that helps me when I have online deals. I have the online stuff sent to her. I have people like Dan who says, I got this deal. How about if I just have it delivered to my warehouse, pay a little bit of prep fees, and I'll send it out for you. Heck yeah, I'll do that. Matt Kelly, same thing. He said, let's just get these pallets in here. I'll prep it for you and send those out. So am I doing it all myself? No. Excuse me. Not in reality. I guess I said yes, but now that I think about it, no, I have these guys helping me, by utilizing their warehouses and going in on buys with different people. That's really helped. Now, the stuff that I get retail arbitrage, that I do myself. A lot of my wholesale that I have delivered to me, I do that myself. The online stuff I have sent to my team member, and some of these deals, the other guys are packing and shipping for me. So it's a network of things. Michael Flanagan has helped me out quite a bit with a wholesale deal that I'm in with him on. No, I guess the fact is I'm not doing it all myself. And that's one of the keys to growing, is to be able to work with people that can help you and to help them. Nobody just wants a leech. So I got to make sure I'm returning those favors, which I'm working on, but it's tough to keep up with these guys. How did you get the team together to do that? Just getting to know people, reaching out to them. My team member, the one person that I worked with at AT&T, and she was looking for some other opportunities. So I've kind of, had her fill that role with the online stuff. So that is my one true team member. The other guys are just people that were willing to help me out and invite me in on some of these buys. And make the rounds, get to know people, be cool, network, give, get, etc. Exactly, Gompers. All right. So unless we have any specific questions on the road to 500K, I would like to give Dan and Eric the rest of the show, because they have some exciting stuff to share with you guys. All right. No questions. We're going to stop the screen share. And let's get the mic unmuted. Probably help if I put Eric's name in there correctly. All right, Dan and Eric, what's going on, guys?
Can you hear us?
We got you loud and clear. What's happening?
Just a good Tuesday night. I don't know. Pretty excited to be here, and we really like the 500K and being a part of it. I think that I'm hoping that we can be a big part of getting you to that.
Yeah, you guys are a huge part of that. I mean, you
I
are my number one selling product right now.
I think the product that we're getting in that you're a part of is going to be is going to overtake that one. I think it's really going to be sick.
I think so too. I was looking at it today. It's gotten even better in rank since we first started looking at it.
It's a perfect time of year for that type of product.
Yeah, I'm blown away.
Anyway,
so you guys, you have a course coming out. Let's not beat around the bush. Let's get to it. Tell people what they can expect. You guys have it, and I'm calling it an advanced wholesale course because it is more in depth than anything I have done or anything that I've seen. And you guys are filling a void that I think needed to be filled, which is we all kind of understand, get your resale certificate, sign up with a wholesaler, find products. That's basic stuff. Most people are there. You guys are doing something far different, though. So why don't you tell us about the wholesale formula?
I mean, so our course is, there's a lot of material about wholesale, and there's a lot of good material about it. How ours is unique is it's exactly what we do. I mean, it's the way we operate our business currently, and that's how we modeled it. In our account, Eric posted a screenshot of our wholesale account in our Facebook group, and that account didn't exist last year at this time. And in that period of time, if you assume since its creation, that account's done almost 1.4 million in sales total, and $1 million of that is this year.
Yeah, I saw you crossed. Yeah, you crossed $1 million already. We're not even halfway through the year. Nowhere near fourth quarter. We're supposed to be in the dog days of summer, and you guys are achieving higher numbers, and I am too because of you. I mean, I see that it works, and that's what I want people to understand. And I hope I didn't ask your permission to give away the numbers on that one deal. Hope it was okay. But I mean,
no problem.
That shows the growth. I mean, I am hitting my biggest months outside of Q4 in what is supposed to be the slowest part of the year, and it's in no small part to you guys whatsoever. I mean, I thank you so much for everything you've shared. And now you're going to show other people exactly how to do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, the growth has been phenomenal for us. I mean, like I said, $1 million on the wholesale account. Our arbitrage/toy account is at about $300K. So we're at 1.3 right now, and that's what we did total last year. So I mean, the growth is phenomenal even on our end. And some people say, well, what makes you an expert on it or what have you? But because you've only been doing it a year, and it's like, well, I'm not claiming to be any type of expert, but what I am telling you is that in July of last year, we began implementing these strategies and trial and error, found out what's worked and refined it. And over this, in the course of, like Dan says, less than 12 months, we have done $1.4 million in gross. So, it's obviously doing something right. And we've been asked, to provide that type of information and be able to reach an audience that's larger because, unlike some people or whatever, this is still our bread and butter. This is what we want to grow. We want to take this Amazon selling for us at wholesale as big as we can take it. But we don't have time to consult and do one-on-one coaching and that, on a large scale because, as you know, it takes a lot of time up. So we try to compile our thoughts, which is not easy to do, but and convey it concisely in a course that people can digest, understand, and then most importantly, implement and take action. I see too many people sitting on the sidelines kind of, well, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? In doomsday scenarios and corner cases. It's just find a product and start. And then when you start with our formula, you get a sense, you're starting with products that are proven successful. So, if the product itself ends up being successful, maybe not, but it's going to sell. The velocity is going to be so fast that you recoup your money, you learn, and you move on to a better product in the event that it unfortunately doesn't work out. And in best case scenario, it does work out, like the majority of our products do. Then, like you said, it's a profitable product and item over time for as long as you carry that product. And so it's just, that's why the growth has been exponential for us and month over month. And of course, sometimes even week to week, it grows as we're able to take on new SKUs and accumulate a larger base of inventory for us.
To give you an idea versus last year, direct comparison versus last year. Last year, at this point in the year, we had done $263,000 in sales. And that's because we're heavily quarter four weighted. At this point this year, like Eric said, we're at 1.3 million in sales. So, and this is, that's the type of growth we're able to do. And to be honest with you, we're actually not working as hard as we were then because we were driving around the country doing all this stuff. And that's the benefit that wholesale provides. Like you said earlier, it's less physical labor. Now my labor is research. Now somebody got us. Now my labor is research and finding those products that afford me this ability to be lazy, so to speak. My job is I find a product that works. I try to capitalize on the price, and I do it over and over and over. And I've seen a lot of people that say, the price. What if the price goes down? Because our margins are a bit tighter, like you said. Our margins do tend to be in that range. I mean, that's a kind of average product for us. It's one of the slightly better ones, and we were able to drive the price down by increasing the order size to get it more in line.
Or cost down,
right?
Not the price on Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, we try not to mess with the prices on Amazon unless we have to. But we were able to drive our cost down by getting a bigger order, and that's where we were able to share that one with Duane. But for the most part, it's about finding those products that are consistent like that. Finding the products that have, a 35 to 50% ROI. That's a fantastic number for us. But they're consistent. We've cut off 5 products since July of last year that fall below our new thresholds around 18%. It's like if we can't get it above 18%, then we'll start to cut it off and tailor it off and get rid of it. But that 5 products have changed to that degree. And it's awkward because, like I said, in our group, we'll buy a product at 15% at a 15% margin, and that doesn't bother us because we're testing the product. And at that point, I'm looking to increase that margin and create a better product, so to speak. But our average margin is around 18% on, or not average, but that's where we tend to be in testing and stuff like that. And that's where we start to look at cutting items off.
Okay, now Abe wants to know, just for clarification, are you talking 18% margin or 18% ROI?
18% margin, though we focus on more of a calculation of ROI, like internally. We talk about things in ROI, but it tends to be around 18% margin that we start cutting things off or heavily examining if we should cut them off if it starts getting too competitive.
Okay.
At that point, it's just going to be a focus of sheer turnover. Like, are we turning over the product enough to sustain that low margin? Right.
So that's kind of your test, just to make sure I understand.
The product breaking even. I mean, that doesn't bother us to break even on a product too.
If we know there's future price breaks or discounts with volume.
That makes a lot of sense. And that's something that I learned from you guys right away was, I'm very used to talking to wholesalers, but then, and just saying, what's your price? And taking that for granted. What I learned from you guys is there's usually more steps involved, more discounts. So different tiers, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, here's your base price, but if you order this much, you'll get 10%. If you order this much, maybe it's 15%. Definitely talk to those reps or those wholesalers and start to find out, maybe you can't order $10,000 worth of something right now, but at least know that exists as a possibility. And that's where you can reach out to other people. And suddenly 2 of you put $5,000 in, and you're hitting that $10,000 threshold, versus maybe doing it all yourself. But at least ask the question, is there a price break? Are there tiers? What can I do to get that price down? Because that makes all the difference in the world when you're talking about low margin or thin margin products.
Steve asked, do you have to be a smooth talker to negotiate prices? Not really. I mean, for us, it's not always about money either. You can be, being a smooth talker obviously helps you, but it's not something that's required. We're from Kentucky. We don't sound smooth whatsoever. It's about adding value. Like, if we can bring value to the relationship beyond money, they're going to work with us, and that's what we focus on. That's ultimately one thing our course focuses heavily on is learning to bring value beyond, selling on Amazon. Most companies don't need more Amazon sellers. They need people to do things for them that go beyond the scope of Amazon. And we try to develop good value propositions to be able to facilitate that. So you have to be a smooth talker, no, but you have to present yourself like you have value to that company, unless it's just sheer numbers. And at that point, if it's sheer numbers, I mean, they're going to tell you, hey, here's my discounts. Or you're going to ask and they're going to tell you, yeah, if you increase your order by 100%, then it's going to make it a lot easier. Or here's your discount level.
We've never had anybody ask for proof of our revenue or anything like that. In fact, I think one of our biggest accounts that we're going to open in the next day or two, we just got approved for terms the other day, and I think their minimum order was at $30K. Yeah. But I mean, they ask for references in terms of trade references, but never about what our revenue or anything like that is. Just that that we were credible, and then of course they gave us terms access. But that's typical anytime that you apply for net terms with any wholesaler. They're going to go ask for references, but I don't think that we've ever been asked, maybe for a company credit card or something like that. But as far as a wholesaler concerned, I don't think we've ever been asked for specific revenue for our company.
With that one, we had to give a bank reference.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I actually have no idea. I mean, we've had to get bank references before. I don't even know what they're asking them at the bank. I know, you know, we have our guy at the bank that deals with that stuff for us. But I don't know what they're asking.
Yeah, and Angel asked a question I want to touch on real quick. She said, do you avoid telling the wholesaler that you sell on Amazon?
No.
I mean, not if it's asked specifically. I mean, we don't. I mean, that's not how we open the conversation, because that's we're more interested in their product and how we can get it. And then, of course, if they ask, there would be no way that we would not disclose that information. Now, granted, we may mention it in passing and also tell them that the other things that we can do beyond Amazon, and that's what Dan was talking about with value-added type propositions, or where we can maybe be able to have them interested in, in something outside of selling on Amazon. But we certainly would not, tell them that we didn't, when we're obviously in fact that we do.
Yeah.
Our goal is to present ourselves in such a manner that it's an afterthought in the conversation. If we come across the way we want to when we're dealing with them or talking to them on the phone, it's going to be more of a formality that they would ask or whatever. We try to sell ourselves to the point of, these are the things we can provide. This is why we're interested in your product. We try to know about their product. We don't call them and just be like, hey, what is it you sell again? I mean, we try to find out a good deal about the company to lock these. The accounts we're applying for are generally pretty tough to get. So we try to know as much as possible going in.
Ron asked about scalable, starting little and growing like a snowball. That's exactly what it is. And it's we were fortunate that when we got into wholesale, that we had expendable cash to try this out. Like I said, we looked at each other. It was a summer. It was a slow time. We'd done $300K to date, and we were trying to figure out something to keep steady revenue sales year round. And so we were able to scale ours pretty quickly. But even if you're able to just get on 1 SKU, 2 SKU, as long as you're able to continue to reinvest, then you grow that to 4 SKUs, and then when that money returns, you grow it to 6 SKUs. And so that's exactly what it is when we say scalable. We're talking about, starting with what you're comfortable with and continue to reinvest your capital and growing your SKUs and inventory SKUs like that.
Janine asked, are we signing contracts or handshakes? That's the thing is I guess that's the disconnect for a lot of people is traditionally wholesalers are easy to get. If you go to ASD, I'm going to get 100% of those people that I talk to. With ours, with the ones that we're shooting for, we do sign contracts. We do sign agreements and things like that, because they're, these are where you generally go to the manufacturer of the product and try to get and try to be dealing on that level. So they do require a bit more qualifications and agreements. So yeah, I mean that's why, like Eric said, if it's asked, do we sell on Amazon? We do disclose it. We have to. I mean, we're trying to, we don't want to be dealing on that level in false pretenses.
And any MAP agreement that we sign, we follow completely. We don't break MAP.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is pretend you don't sell on Amazon, place an order, have say even $1,000 in product or $2,000 in product, and then start selling on Amazon and get contacted by the manufacturer who says, hey, we have an exclusive agreement with XYZ. Why are you selling on Amazon? You're not allowed to. You told us you were going to sell on your own website. There is nothing good that's going to come out of being deceitful about selling on Amazon. Now, I agree with you wholeheartedly. You do not start the conversation with, hey, my name's Duane and I sell on Amazon. Can I have your product? Don't start a conversation with we sell on Amazon. But start it with, we want to represent your product. We believe in your brand and your products. Your product line is fantastic. Make it about them. Make it about what they're offering, and know the product. Don't just go in blind. Like you said, oh, what do you sell? Biggest mistake I've seen, and Dan pointed this out to me, I've seen it over and over, are the people that go, I got a wholesale account, but I can't find any products. Well, you just went about that totally backwards. Why do you have a wholesale account with somebody if you don't know what products they have. You start with the product, find out who makes it. But again, be very upfront about what you're doing. It doesn't mean say I'm selling on Amazon. It just means disclose it if it comes up in the conversation.
And another reason we're upfront on our maps and try to build a trust relationship with these people is because wholesale is for the long game. This isn't about, we're trying to build a business, and we have built a business, and it's about growing incrementally over time and making it into a big business. So it doesn't do us any good to sneak under the radar with false pretenses and make $2,000 or $3,000 and pay a few bills, which is all you will do when they catch you. And if you're lucky, they don't, report you to Amazon, and Amazon gets you on a violation or temporary ban or anything like that. Even, you've made a couple $1,000s underhandedly, and then you've also put your name out there, and in the event that any other wholesalers wherever contact them, they'd say, yeah, these people, lied to us. It was a terrible experience, et cetera. So like I said, we're in it for the long game. So that's why we try to be, as transparent as possible with our intentions and what we do with the product, so that, so that we can continually, sell that good item over a long period of time.
Yeah, and Jenny's asking, if your product drops to 18% and you drop it, how do you handle that if you have a contract? So can you
like with a MAP agreement?
Yeah, I think she's kind of misunderstanding what you mean by a contract.
Okay, like with a MAP agreement, if somebody starts undercutting the MAP, we've said this in our forum, and Dylan actually posted it and caught a ton of flack about it. If somebody comes in and they're beating MAP, we do report them. That's one thing, and it's it's not only for our benefit. It's because that agreement is in place for a reason. They care about their price, and we try to get them to be able to enforce it. And if they can enforce it, that's great. If they can't, we try to work with them on strategies to enforce it. And we've had to do that a couple of times where, it's like, you guys, are you guys focusing on this problem? And they're, they have a plan in place, and it may take them a little bit of time, but they're working on it. We're flexible. We'll leave our price the same, or leave our price up. Now, if they have no intention of working on it, it's like, yeah, buddy, get lost. I can't. Then yes, I will break the MAP. I will get out of the product, but that's with no intention of carrying it again. And that, that's where essentially at that point I am cutting business ties with them. And that's because they're not honoring that agreement with me. So we try to be, we want to work both ways. If they're willing to work with it, and I understand things happen. I understand that people get on a product, they lie and they cheat and they steal to do things, and it's hard to enforce. So we're flexible with it. We try to give them as much and help them as much as possible. And that's part of what Eric said. We want to develop the relationships, and we want to show that, we're a part of your team. We're not here to break your products. We're not here to do all these things. We actually want success for your business. And if you believe in a MAP price and that's what you want, then we want to be able to promote that idea for you. And some companies don't, some companies do. And you just have to be able to be flexible and willing to work with what they need too, as well as your own needs.
Yeah, I've reported people. Actually, I reported somebody twice or two separate times on the same product, because there were 3 sellers at 50 cents below MAP, which doesn't sound like a lot. Okay, MAP was $19.99 and they were at $19.49. But that kept all of us that were sitting at MAP off of the product. And it was $8,000 in kitchen, which is not bad. That sells a few a day. And yet these 3 were capturing all the sales. So I reported it to the manufacturer, and they sent out emails. 2 of them moved back up to MAP. But then one guy sat there by himself, and I say 8,000. It actually fluctuates between about 6,000 and 8,000. So now this one guy for about a week was capturing all the sales. And I was like, this is crap, man. How is this one guy getting away with this? So I contacted the manufacturer again, and they contacted him. Now he's above MAP, and guess what? We're all selling the product again. So those of us that sat above MAP and did it the right way, yeah, we reported them. We were losing money while they were doing something that was underhanded and against the rules. So I have no problem reporting someone in that case, because that to me is the same as stealing. We all signed a MAP agreement. We all said we won't sell below this price. When you take those sales away from me and I'm playing by the rules and you're not, why wouldn't I report you? There's no way I'm going to sit back. Now, I'll give you time. I'm not going to report you the second I see it. But if you're there for a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks, yeah, I'm firing off some emails, and I'm going to get upset. And I'm either getting off the product, like you guys said, or I'm going to get you to play by the rules. So
we actually had that pay off in spades for us, a good relationship and helping maintain a product's integrity on Amazon. Recently, we had a manufacturer that got tired of their product being habitually undercut with MAP, so they've decided to scale back the number of Amazon sellers way down to only a select few that meet a large threshold in terms of orders for the last 12 months. We didn't meet that because we'd only been carrying the product about 6 months. And even as good as it's been for us, forecasting it out for a year, we still wouldn't even met that threshold. That's how large that threshold was. So they're going to scale it back to about 8 Amazon sellers. Currently had about 35. And it's still a great selling product even with that. Dan was able to talk to them, and with our history with, trying to let them know that what people were reporting MAP and how often and his relationships he had with our rep, we were actually able to become one of the handful of sellers that's going to be able to continue that product. So as they sell through, those other 35 sellers sell through, it's going to be down to us and about 8 or 9 other sellers, and it's going to be amazing for us. So so it can certainly pay off.
Somebody asked about if you get it from our, how do we know if the product was purchased from the manufacturer? We don't. I mean, we don't know when we report somebody for breaking a MAP. It's not just, like I said, it's not just to protect myself. It's to protect the integrity of the product as per the manufacturer wanted us to do. And if that person purchased it from our retail or online arbitrage, then I don't care where they got the product. I don't have time to concern myself with it. I just do as I'm asked by the manufacturer and help them preserve their brand's integrity and report it. And occasionally I imagine it may cause a problem for an OA seller where they get one of the nasty grams, but that's part of business is being that's one of the benefits of our business model is we don't get the nasty grams because we're authorized sellers, and that's one of the things going forward that I think it makes wholesale more appealing is as companies get more aggressive in enforcing their policies, it's simply going to be more imperative to be an authorized seller on products. I don't know. I'm not saying that's like a doomsday scenario in the next year or next 2 years or 5 years. I'm just saying that there's an obvious clear push for that kind of thing. So it's one of the things that we don't have time to sit there and be like, oh, I wonder if this guy bought it from the manufacturer or not. We just report them, and the manufacturer deals with it on their end.
Yeah, for the one I reported, I contacted the manufacturer and I said, this is the person. Well, that manufacturer takes everybody's Amazon store name. So when I said, this store and that store, they were like, yeah, we know who they are, and we've sent it to them. We're going to cut them off after this because they've broken MAP too many times. We're just waiting for them to sell out. We're not going to sell to them anymore. So these are smaller. Who I'm talking with is a smaller manufacturer, so they know who they're selling to. Right. And, one of the people that they're upset with is Amazon, who they do not sell to, but is on the product and breaking MAP because they don't have that MAP agreement. So, I'm working with them to be able to kick Amazon off of the listing. And, they know what's going on. This is not Hershey that I'm dealing with. This is not Hasbro, who doesn't have a clue really who they're selling to. And there's 1,000 different distributors that they could go through. What I'm talking about is small companies that know their sellers, they know who they're selling to, and they know that we're all selling on Amazon and exactly who to contact about this stuff. So just keep in perspective the size of the company that you're dealing with, and maybe it makes a little more sense of how they can control who's who and know that they didn't get it OA, because if they don't sell to Walmart, then this person didn't source it at Walmart. You're not going to get a lot of the products I sell, you're not going to get them at retail stores. The only way to get them is from the manufacturer.
The Martha said that she had a wholesaler tell her that they will not sell to Amazon sellers anymore because they constantly tank prices. Those are the accounts that we get and do well with. Yeah. That's the whenever they say they won't sell to an Amazon seller, that immediately makes them significantly more important in our book. So now it becomes our, that's where I was talking about. We create that, that's part of what's in our course is learning to create that value to convince that person to sell to you. Because ultimately our goal, like I said, we talk about we don't break MAP, we don't do these things. So once we get these accounts, we actually live up to what we promise. That's the one thing that we're going to preach throughout this is if you say you're going to do something, do your best to do it. So we try to create that value and get that specific person to sell to me, because I know they're going to be limiting Amazon sellers, so it's going to make the product infinitely less competitive. That's like I said, that's a beautiful situation when that happens.
She generally asked how many wholesalers we work with. I think we have about 250 different SKUs live right now. I'd say an average is probably like 4 SKUs per wholesaler. So probably currently active at least 50, but we probably have some out of stock. Sometimes you have some of these smaller companies like Duane mentioned, they only have production runs every 2 or 3 months, and you have to wait on them to manufacture the product and get it to you and certain things. So realistically, probably around 70 or 75. But live, currently, there's probably like 50 different wholesalers on our account with about, like I said, 250 live listings on our wholesale account currently.
Abe said you can't get Amazon kicked off for breaking mail. Actually, this came up with the product that we were working with Duane on. Somehow Amazon got a little bitty small quantity of it last night. And Duane can tell you, I actually got called by the manufacturer at like 7 o'clock at night, and he was like, "Hey man, you're one of the people with enough juice to sell to Amazon. Did you just sell them a bunch of product?" I was like, "No man, I can tell you exactly where my product went. You know, I can tell you exactly how much product I've sold, how much product I sold to another seller, who he is." And he was like, "Okay, fantastic. That makes it down to 3 more people." And at some point, he said his goal now is to kill the number of sellers on his product to make sure that to protect it. So, like I told Duane, this is I don't know how many, if Amazon got some, it's not going to be fun for a minute, but this is going to be fantastic news, because it's getting ready to go from like 10 sellers down to like 6 sellers, because he wants to protect his product. So that's we can't get them kicked off, or you can't do that. But when they don't want to sell to Amazon, if they care enough about their brand, they're going to identify who is selling it to Amazon and kill that part of the supply chain.
Exactly. All right, guys, we got about 5 minutes left. So let's get to the course itself. First of all, I want to say the production quality is bar none the best I've seen. You guys did an amazing job just visually with the course. The information is outstanding, but just visually, better than anything I ever dreamt of being able to do. So, props to Dylan. I know it was.
I was going to say, well, that's better than we could do also. Big shout out to Dylan, who obviously took care of all that. I mean, you hear our lovely voices over it, but he's the one that made it look nice. And that's the thing, that the video is, the modules are all going to be like recorded video modules that are easy to follow with slideshows and such. But it's also going to have a live webinar teaching session for anybody that purchases it, a private Facebook group where we'll be able to answer more consistently. We'll get alerts and be alerted in that Facebook group more often. And we've also arranged some discounts on some software that we use. We've reached out to some people that with software that we use in our sourcing, and said, "Hey, we got a group of people that are going to be taking this course. Is there any way we can give them a discount and help them out and get them started with that?" So all that's going to be included with the course. And I know that we're taking signups currently at thewholesaleformula.com. You could get your email address in the little submission there. Videos, we're going to release 2 videos tomorrow. They're actual modules from the course. I think one is on sales rank analysis. The other is on competition analysis, which are 2 of the big factors we consider when looking at a product. Friday is going to be the big reveal, with it's going to have like the index, the glossary of all the actual modules. I think there's like 24, 25, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then it'll go on sale Sunday, I think around 8 Eastern, 8 or 9, 8 Eastern. And some of the bigger modules, the ones that we're more proud of, like Duane had mentioned, the sourcing method that we use, we call leaf sourcing. It's kind of like a reverse engineered sourcing method, rather than, like you say, getting a catalog and going mind-numbingly through one, hoping to find a product, which is basically like getting a metal detector out at the beach and hoping to find a ring. But
that's a good.
So we've done it the other way. Yeah, I mean, we found the ring that we want to sell, and we were going to find out where we can get it from and the cheapest possible. So that's one of our modules, which is a really good one. How to build a website in less than 30 minutes, which of course Dylan does that because I couldn't build one in 30 days. And then how to increase approval rates, which is Dan's big thing. He's our slick talker. He's the one that
real slick.
Yeah. I mean, so some of the tips, tricks, and ins and outs that he uses when speaking, and that's a big thing. Just speaking to them. A lot of people like to use the email, and it is convenient for a lot of the interactions. But some of the things that he uses specifically to increase the approval rates, that have went up since we started to now. Our approval rates are about 5 times what they were when we were beginning. Because we did a lot of the things people asking, like, "Hey, did we sell on Amazon? We want to sell your product and this and that." And they're like, "Okay, And so now that we know a little bit better how to present ourselves, our approval rate is way through the roof. So that's a few of the bigger modules that in the course that we're really proud of.
Somebody asked, are we going to give wholesale connections away with our course? And it's our course is honestly, Duane is in the material. It is honestly designed to teach you to fish. The way we build our business is we build it on low competition, and that's what we encourage and teach you to do is find products in low competition areas and exploit those products. I think we did have a list of wholesalers that are super easy to get for accounts, and I'll be honest with you, these wholesalers aren't going to knock your socks off with prices or anything like that. But if you're able to find a product or two, it may give you a reference to use down the line. So the value of that is literally going to be finding or developing, starting to maybe develop some kind of track record or trade references. That's why you see that all the time on the applications as trade references. So but as far as are these going to be your reblend style products? And no, we're not going to give you those. We're going to teach you how to find those. And I think this course does it very well, and I think it's very descriptive on getting you to the point of finding your own wholesalers.
Well, you have me sold, so it's time for you to give one away. You've agreed to give one away, right?
So, how about this? We were trying to we've been trying to actually figure this out all day, how we wanted to give it away. And we came up with like 2 or 3 scenarios. We're going to run them by Duane. The first scenario involves you doing it.
No.
So okay, if you don't want to, it's your show. So that we were going to offer you the.
That's too hard. There's like 100 people. I did this at a conference. I won like 3 drawings in a row, and
lucky dog.
Yeah, I felt obligated to kind of give it away, even though I kind of wanted to keep it for myself. But everybody in the room was like, "Oh, you don't need that." I'm like, "Well, yeah, kind of I do, but all right." So yeah, I got to make like 3 friends and 150 enemies. So I figured out real quick that doesn't work well just to pick people. So hopefully you guys got something better than just me picking a winner. So no, you got to come up with something.
Well, like I said, we were going to offer you that because, I'm going to go ahead and say I've never won any raffle item in my entire life ever. So anyway, what we came up with is we'd seen this one in the past and really liked it because it's part of our course is honestly being able to analyze yourself and your own business. So we wanted, instead of something random, we wanted you to be able to, you can send us an email. We're going to select one person. We'll select it and we'll announce it on our group and Duane's group tomorrow. We're going to close any received after midnight tonight will not be valid. So get your submission in at midnight tonight. Write us a short description about your business specifically.
Very short.
Very short. I don't want to. I don't want to read books. Like
2 sentences, guys.
2 sentences. Hey, where are you at in business?
Where you want to go.
That's the second part. Is where do you want to go, and how do you think incorporating wholesale into your business would help you? And ultimately, what would you want to learn from this course? What is your goal? If you take this course, what is your goal?
Oh, you guys are setting yourselves up.
We're actually going to let Dylan read all these, and he's probably going to be the selector.
Where are they sending?
Eric put it on the screen. It's going to go to dan@thewholesaleformula.com.
Yeah, this is only obviously this is not going to be up and live in time for anybody that's not here. So we wanted to make sure that it was people that were in this chat and watching this now. So that's why we're cutting it off at midnight. It's not just make you rush and do it. It's so that like people on replays tomorrow and stuff aren't eligible, because we want to reward the people that were here participating with us and thanks for the questions and people that are eager, because these are the people that are going to take the actionable steps required to be successful, and that's what we want to put it in the hands of.
I want to take a couple quick questions. Because apparently I'm not very clear. When I said write a short description, that part is 2 sentences. write how can you incorporate wholesale in your business? That could be another 2 sentences. And how can this course help you can be another 2 sentences. I'm not looking for 2 sentences to say all that. That's ridiculous. So, it can be, I just don't want a paragraph or a book about each one of those items. I want to see those items in it, and it's short and concise. And then somebody said, is this course only for big time sellers? Honestly, this course I think is applicable at most levels. Duane, what is that? What is the average minimum order for one of your wholesalers?
Most of mine range between 1,000 and 1,500, really. Now I have some that are on the very low end where I just need to order a case.
Yeah.
And then the high end, probably 1,500 is on the high end, but I find a lot of mine in that about $1,000 range.
I think the most important thing is that when you start the wholesale business, as long as you're able to nurture it and continue to reinvest it, it just takes one good product to get started. As long as you can reinvest your capital gain from that and not have to take it out for bills and stuff like that. That's more like the RA kind of stuff. To grow it from those, it certainly can be nurtured and grown from those small roots, but it really needs to be reinvested so that you can grow, the 1 SKUs to 2 and 2 to 4, like I was saying earlier. So I think that realistically, you can start small. Like I said, we were able to start with about 10 SKUs initially that we found pretty, early on, but it can be grown that way, I believe.
I do want to throw this out there to protect some of the smaller sellers. If you have $500, this is not the course for you. I would say that if you need, this is my opinion, correct me if you guys think I'm wrong. I would say bare minimum, you need $1,000 that you can put into this, and preferably at least $2,000. If you don't have $2,000 to put into the course, it's not for you. You need to grow more. That's my opinion. The ones that are going to excel have 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, where you can really test what you guys are talking about. So no, I don't. Again, that's my opinion. I just don't want someone that has $200, $500 to go, well, this is the course that's finally going to open the door. No, it's not. That's not enough capital to make wholesale work, in my opinion. That's enough to order those small case lots, but it's not going to let you really take advantage of what you guys have. That's why I'm calling this advanced. It's not for bigger sellers, but it is for more driven sellers, people that are going to take that information and really put it to work. And that's what I like about your idea with the email. Now, I kind of gave you a hard time. I said, you guys are setting yourselves up. You wait till you get those 50, 60 emails tonight. You're reading all that. But
fast turn radio is put that as the subject line.
Yeah, put a fast turn radio in the subject. That's a good idea. But seriously, if you're not even willing to write that email, then you definitely have no business winning. So I like that better than just pick a random number. So props to you guys. Now you just get to sift through, like I said, 50, maybe 100 emails if people catch the replay. I'm going to try to get it up real quick. But anyway, so that's my advice. If you guys think I'm off base, please tell me. But that's where I put it at.
I mean, that's definitely the best advice for success. You're obviously going to say something.
No. I mean, I agree. I mean, you're going to have your success rate goes up quite high. When you're getting closer to that range, I would agree.
But it's like anything else. I mean, it's like any other kind of course. Like it honestly is an investment in yourself. It's an investment in knowledge. It's an investment in things you're going to be able to use. Like I said, we said earlier in the show, we tried to make it very actionable and things like that. So,
yeah,
I think it is. I mean, I think that was one thing is we really did concentrate on putting out the best possible product we could.
Yeah, you guys did a fantastic job. I am blown away by the visual and the content. I'm telling you, I've done a lot of courses. I've made a ton of videos myself. You guys put everything I've ever done to shame. You guys have just blown it out of the water, seriously. So I'm impressed. And it's great content. I just want to make sure we have the right people to consume it. That's all. Because you guys have done a lot of work on this. Dylan's done a lot of work. We want people that are going to take the information and be success stories, not just, I bought the course and I set it up on my shelf. Well, forget that, man. No, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. If you're driven, if you're going to put this stuff into action, then absolutely sign up. People are asking about price. Are you guys comfortable giving the price yet, or are you going to keep that quiet for a couple more days?
I think we're going to release it all when we Friday, when we've got the content and have the we're still putting this thing together.
We're still actually working out some of the small details in terms of
Fair enough.
things we're going to be including, and we don't know if some of those may cost us out of pocket money before we get to the finish line. So anything like that could affect price. Like we're going to try to make it as cheap as possible. We've invested a ton of time and tried to make it a beautiful product and a functional product. So
yeah, send those emails. I just want to say it so anyone listening can possibly get their submission in. You want to send those emails with the subject line Fast Turn Radio to Dan@thewholesaleformula.com and sign up for the newsletter. You will not get a confirmation, just so you know, but sign up for the newsletter at www.thewholesaleformula.com, and you'll get the 2 free modules that come out tomorrow, correct? You guys are
That's correct.
All right. 2 modules coming out tomorrow, cost you absolutely nothing. You're going to see what I'm talking about with the graphics and the information and how it all comes together to just, it's a riveting course. I mean, and you guys did a great job keeping the video short, consumable, and actionable. I mean, you nailed it. These are 5 to 15 minute videos, most of them. And there's stuff where you can watch it and you can start doing it. And you watch it and you start doing it. I know because I went through the course. I'm doing what you guys teach. So yes, there is a limit. Thank you, Rhonda. It's limited seating. Don't know if you guys are comfortable giving out the limit yet. I guess that's still part of the work in progress.
It's still Friday. We're trying to, like I said, weigh our time. I mean, that's the whole thing is, like I said, we're not trying to be, consultants or teachers per se. I mean, we're trying to grow this wholesale business. So we want to make it, accessible enough people to be successful, but where it doesn't take us away from what we do at our core and what pays for this 10,000 square foot warehouse and all these things,
That makes total sense. Yeah, guys, understand that, the old adage is those who can't teach. And I'm here to tell you that's crap. As someone who coaches, the fact is you don't have time to do and teach. It's almost a one or the other. So if you're going to dedicate time to teaching others, which I do, and Dan and Eric have kind of been driven to do as well, then you love it and you get a lot of energy out of that. But at the same time, it kind of takes away from the work that you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, and this main business allows us to subsidize it to make it affordable. I mean, obviously, if we were going to quit, $1 million in sales by June and go to full-time coaching, this would be a very expensive course. That's not going to be the case because we want to keep doing what we do, et cetera. So, but we're going to get it all together, and Friday will be a big announcement. We'll get all the information out there.
All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for being on. Any closing thoughts? Any last words? Anything?
Yeah, just be on the lookout for the videos tomorrow.
All right.
Yep. They should be exciting. Like I said, these are videos actually from the course. These are 2 of the modules from the course. So
that's awesome. So people are going to see kind of what they're getting before they have to invest a dime. So if you're on the fence, that's cool. Just keep it in mind. Watch the videos tomorrow. Maybe it'll help you decide one way or the other. But get signed up at thewholesaleformula.com. Make sure you get the links and all that good stuff to the videos tomorrow. Check them out. Give Dan and Eric your feedback. Join their Facebook group. What's the link? It's facebook.com/groups/
wholesale community.
Wholesale community. All right. So join the group. You'll get all the information, all the updates, all that kind of stuff. And apparently Friday we'll find out how much this course actually costs.
We'll have it nailed down one way or another. I mean, everything will be. We will have all the information we need to make before then to make it.
Yeah. Well, so apparently we'll have the number of seats available and the price by Friday.
And what's included.
Yes. Discounts, Facebook group, modules, and anything else, all the webinar. You guys talked about it already. It's amazing. The wholesale community is just their Facebook group. And it's not, I shouldn't say just, it's an awesome Facebook group. Over 1,500 people already, I believe it is. Started almost overnight, and you guys are killing it. So great stuff. Wish you guys the best of luck going forward with this. You're welcome back anytime to give us updates. I know you're one of the biggest draws. Anytime I'm like Dan and Eric are on, it's like 100 seats filled up, so it's awesome. You guys are welcome back here anytime. Wish you the best success possible. I'm excited to see the launch, to see the videos again as they come out in their final stages, because I've kind of seen the rough copies along the way, and even those were fantastic. So
You saw the rugged ones. I mean,
yeah, I know. I can't imagine what the finished product looks like. So, all right, guys, good stuff. Thanks for being on.
Thanks a lot.
I'm sure we'll talk to you again in the future. To the 100 people that showed up, thank you guys all for being here. And the replay will be up immediately as soon as we conclude and everything is uploaded. So thank you guys. Have a good night. And we'll see everybody next time on Fast Turn Radio.